So you never really knew who they were. You know, with you, I was like, right away, I was like, oh, I know guys like you. Like, right away.
It was rough those couple years because I would go to meetings and stuff and people go, I don't know.
Yeah, you were rough. You were rough,
Rough.
dude.
I was like, I don't know. And then I remember I went to HBO. Somebody got me a meeting at HBO, like in 98. And I had no success at all. Like I wasn't having any success at all, except for the Comedy Store. And I went to that meeting and something, like I went with like actors and agents, and you know how proper they are. Like,
Yeah.
this is an idea about the future of this show.
Right.
And I could just take it for so long. And I just went. And I talked about growing up in a funeral parlor, picking up bodies, going to fucking JFK and bringing the bodies back and slinging them in the mouth. The guy's body, the mouth would open on the body because my friend had a funeral parlor. And they were like, hold on one second. This is stunning. And I just started going off on them. And they're like, we want to hear more. Put these together in notes for me. And I was like, okay. And then after the new year, I gave them the notes. And I was on fire. Like, I didn't tell anybody about this. Some guy hip-pocketed me and took me to a meeting. And that was 6 Feet Under.
Oh.
So we were on, like, I was like, okay. And they were like, we don't know if this is going to work. But then they turned me down. They go, we like the idea, but funeral ideas haven't worked. After this went on for like 2 months. And then 6 months later, fucking 6 Feet Under came out.
Oh, they just took your idea.
I don't think they took my
Listen,
idea.
that happens all the time.
I thought they had it in development. But my
think so?
idea was completely different. It was about two hoodlums who worked at a funeral parlor.
Right.
It wasn't about whatever that show turned out.
But I think the concept is just constantly handling dead people. There's something about that never was really covered before. That's got to affect the way people see life. I remember the first time I saw my grandfather was in an open casket. And the first time I saw his body, I remember immediately, it was very interesting because one of the first things I felt was like, oh, he's not there. You know, like it's not just that someone's not alive anymore. Like he wasn't there. That was when I started wondering, I wonder if a soul is a real thing. I wonder what that is, that concept of what is the force inside of someone that causes them to be alive. You sense it when you're around them. Because the strange thing about dead bodies is not just that they're a human body that's dead. It's also there's no one there. You know what I'm saying? Like you have a feeling that's very intangible. There's a feeling when you're around a person. Like there's a person there. When the person's not there, it's like, oh, he's not there anymore.
There's no energy. There's nothing coming from the body. There's nothing.
It's not as simple as the heart's not beating and the lungs aren't catching oxygen. It's something more. It's like you feel it. You know, I don't know if it's real. And it's also, when you're looking at a body that's in an open casket, it's been drenched in formaldehyde and covered in makeup. It's very odd. Very odd.
Now, they say that when you die, you lose how much pounds?
I don't think that's real.
That's because
21 grams. I
Yeah,
think it is.
21 grams. That's a movie that dude made.
Well, let's see if that is that. What was that based on? That was based on some sort of a study, but from what I understand, it's not real. I don't think your soul would weigh anything. Why would it have to weigh anything?
It's just a spirit.
Yeah, like
It's just an energy.
Does electricity weigh anything? You know?
You want me to tell you something, man? I grew up going to a lot of wakes early on.
Yeah.
Like when you watch The Sopranos, they go to a wake every other week.
Mm-hmm.
In Jersey, you're in a wake every other week. I've been there 3 years, and I already could have gone to like 18 wakes. I've been to maybe 2 or 3 of them. But in 3 years, wakes are big. But you look at the whole process of a wake. I would never let my daughter go to a wake now until she's 18, just because the effects it did to me. I don't remember my father's wake, but I remember my friends' wakes from grammar school, and I remember my mother's wakes. And those 3 wakes fucked me up to the point where somebody else died when I was like a junior or a senior in high school, and I didn't go to that wake. Like I was like, I've had enough of wakes. I don't think it's healthy. I don't know. For me, it wasn't. I got exposed to it at a young age, and it wasn't healthy, man. It fucked with me for a long time. I watched The Exorcist. It didn't fuck with me as much as those caskets fucked with me. So when my buddy had the funeral parlor years later, I volunteered for the job because I didn't want to have that creepiness between us, and that eliminated. I saw how he responded to it. It was like an everyday thing. It was like you lifting kettlebells, him picking up a dead body, putting him down. You know, I saw how
you get numb.
You're numb to that.
Yeah.
That's the You know, but it's so weird how it's like the #1 career to get into, and nobody will get into. Think about it. It pays off the bat, if you go to school for embalming school, whatever they call it. It's like a funeral director, the whole thing, they cover everything. It's like a year if you don't go to college. A year to make $100,000 something. Think about it. That's not bad.
Yeah, if you're willing to work with dead people.
If you're willing to work with dead people. My friend's funeral parlor had a fireman that did the embalming. So he would just come in and do the embalming. You know, $400 a body, whatever. I don't know what's done during the embalming. It's very sacred. I know they break the spine, they drain the blood, they fill you with formaldehyde and shit. But that whole process, and then you go back and look at like the Aztecs and how they did. The Chinese, they put you on a boat and they float you away. They celebrate this.
I think the Vikings did it right.
The Vikings
Light
did
that
it right.
motherfucker on fire.
Light them on fire. Everybody had their own thing, which is very interesting. The Aztecs, this, that, everybody had their own way of dealing with it.
Yeah.
So we were on the right path. I just don't think of going in there and sitting with a dead body for 3 hours and looking at him is healthy. And then I heard stories from Cuba where they had no embalming fluids, and you would have to bury, your body would die, and you would have to wake at your home.
Oh.
Like in the 40s, 20s, they had wakes at people's homes.
Yeah.
Without the embalming fluid. And at one point, the fucking hand would pop up. And you'd have to break the arm to put the casket down, because once that rigor mortis sets in that arm, that's fucking straight strength. You're not just going to bend that arm in and do an arm bar or a Kimura. It's not going to fucking happen.
Yeah.
So they have to break the arm to put the arm down. So when I was a kid, my mother would always go, if you hit your mother, your arm pops up in your fucking casket. So I decided I'm not going to hit my mom. Fuck that. I'm going to walk into fucking hell with your arm up like Hitler. You know, you hit your mother, fuck you.